Welcome to the DuPont SAP Basic Navigation Training. Throughout this course, you will be learning how to log on and off of SAP, an overview of the SAP Easy Access System, how to change the font size, how to navigate through basic SAP menus, how to display transaction codes, how to create favorites, customizing your profile and local layout, how to find the name of an SAP user, setting up auto-forwarding of workflow messages, searching for materials from the Prometheus shopping cart, and finally, what is new in SAP. This is the front page of SAP. Let's take a look at what you will find. There is a menu bar which contains menus for the functional and administrative areas of the system. As you navigate through SAP screens, the options on the menu bar will change, but every menu bar will contain System and Help. There is the Standard toolbar, which contains the Command field and the standard buttons. The Command field is used to enter transaction codes that take you directly to a system task without using menus. Sometimes the Command field is closed by default. To open it, click the arrow to the left of the Save button. The Command field also stores and displays past transaction codes that have been entered. Some of the standard buttons are Enter, Save, Back, Log Off, Cancel, Print, Find, Create Session, Shortcut, Help, Customize Layout, and the scroll arrows. The SAP buttons displayed on the toolbar provide quick access to commonly used SAP functions. There is the title bar, which displays the screen you are working in. There is the application toolbar, which contains buttons that duplicate functions available from the menu bar, but provide quicker access to some of the most commonly used functions for the current screen and system tasks. These will change depending upon what screen you are on. And finally, the status bar, which is located at the bottom of the screen. The left side will display system messages, such as warning messages, error messages, or instructions. The right displays the system information, such as system name, client, or transaction. You can change what is displayed by clicking on the down arrow and making your selection. Now that we have gone over the home screen, let's take a look at how you can access transaction codes in SAP. There are three main ways to access transactions in SAP, commonly referred to as T-codes. The three different options are: first, enter the transaction code into the command field. This is assuming you know the transaction code and will not need to look for it. Second, select the transaction from your list of favorites. We'll go over how to set up favorites in a few minutes. And third, select the transaction from the menu path in the SAP menu tree. The default SAP setting does not display transaction codes on the menu tree. In order to turn this feature on, click on Extras in the menu bar, and then select Settings from the drop-down list. In the Settings pop-up box, check the box beside Display Technical Names, and then click the Enter icon. Now, when you go to a transaction on your menu tree, the transaction code is displayed, as well as the name of the transaction. There may be times when you will need to stop a transaction while SAP is running. To do this, select the first tray button from the menu bar, and then select Stop Transaction from the drop-down menu. In Module 3, we will focus on how to change the font type or size of your SAP screen. In order to increase or decrease your font size, click on the Customize Local Layout button. Select Options from the drop-down menu, select the 118N tab, and check the box Activate Multibytes Functions. Close the session and relaunch SAP. Click on the Customize Local Layout button, select Font 118N from the drop-down selection. A new window will open and you can adjust your font style, and size. Once you have completed your selection, click OK and exit the application. The new font changes will occur and will be applied once you relaunch SAP. In Module 4, we will cover the basic SAP menus and how to navigate through them. One of the ways you can navigate through SAP is through menus. The most used are the User menu and the Favorites menu. To view the User menu, click on the icon. This will display your User menu. It is showing the roles you have been assigned. When you click on the arrow beside the folder, you will see the transactions that are associated with the role. You can then select a transaction. The other menu is the Favorites menu. The Favorites folders are your favorites that you have created. We will go over how to create favorites. As mentioned previously, we are going to go over how to create your Favorites menu. A few of the details that you should know about the Favorites menu. It provides an easy access path to commonly performed SAP transactions, web files, and desktop features. It is also user-specific, so every user's favorite menu is different. And there are three main ways to adding favorite transactions into your Favorites menu. We will cover them over the next few minutes. As I said, the Favorites menu can be used to store your most commonly used SAP transactions. When you add a transaction to your Favorites folder, a shortcut is created within that folder to allow you to directly access that transaction. Storing transactions in your Favorites menu helps you avoid navigating to the menu each time to reach a transaction. It also eliminates the need to memorize transaction codes and is a great way to organize your most commonly used transactions. The Favorites menu can only be accessed from the SAP Easy Access screen. So let's start by adding a folder. To add a folder, click on Favorites and Insert Folder from the drop-down. Name the folder and click the green check. The folder will be created. You can move the folder by dragging it where you want it. To change the text description, use the pencil. To add a transaction to your Favorites folder, navigate to that transaction using the menu tree. Click once on the transaction to highlight it. Then click the Favorites tab in your menu bar and select Add. It is important to note that to use the Add feature, the transaction you are adding must be highlighted. Once you have added the transaction, it is now displayed in your Favorites. Double-clicking on the transaction will take you directly into it. If you know the transaction code you wish to add to Favorites, you may do so without navigating through the menu tree or highlighting the transaction. To do this, in your menu tab, click Favorites, then click Insert Transaction. In the pop-up box, enter the transaction code and click the green check mark. The transaction is now displayed in your Favorites, and clicking on it will take you directly to the transaction screen. At some point, you may decide you want to change the description so it makes more sense to you. To do this, highlight the transaction in the Favorites folder, select Favorites, then Change. Type in the new description, and click the green check. You can also just click on the pencil and make your change. In this section, we will cover how to customize your default user profile to set up printer, decimal, and date format, as well as how to set up local layout parameters. Let's start by customizing your user profile. Start by clicking System on the menu bar, then select User Profile and Own Data. Here you can add information or change depending upon your preferences in the Address tab. You can also leave it as it is. The choice is yours. Next, you can go to the Defaults tab. Here you will want to select the US decimal and date format. Select EST for the personal time of user, for Eastern Standard Time. Login language will be EN for English. Start menu will be local, LOCL. The output device will be LOCL. And check the Output Immediately box. Next is the Parameters tab. This is an example of definitions of standard parameters that you will need to focus on. Each site is different, but it is important to be familiar with these when selecting parameters for your searches. When you add a parameter, you will type in the parameter ID, which is WRK in this case, add the value, which is your plant number, and hit enter on your keyboard. This will add the short text. You will need to save before you exit. If you don't know the parameter ID, you can look for it while you are in a transaction. To do this, you will first click within the input field that you would like to create a default value for and press F1 on your keyboard. This will open a box where you will click on the technical information key. This will then show you the parameter ID. Make sure you make a note of this. You will be typing it in the parameter tab. You also need the value, so have that information as well. Now let's add to your parameter tab. Start by clicking System, the User Profile, and Own Data. Click on the Parameters tab. Go to the first empty line and type in the parameter ID, then the value, and hit Enter on your keyboard. Be sure to click on Save when you are done. Now the next time you use a T-code with that field, it will be auto-populated. Now that you have set up your default user profile, we will cover how to quick print SAP screens to your local printer, which is a printer you have set up in Windows on your computer. To quick print an SAP screen, click the Customize Local Layout button on the menu bar. Then select Hard Copy from the drop-down. This will initiate your printer. There may be times you need to find the name of an SAP user. In this section, we will cover how to find users' details based on their user ID. To find the name of a user, go to the command field and type in the transaction code SU01D. Enter the user SAP ID or their DuPont ID, for example, FF8220. Click the eyeglasses button to open the user information. Note that what you are seeing is what was set up in their user profile. Notice the Address tab, Defaults tab, and Parameters tab. In Module 9, we will cover how to set up auto-forwarding of workflow messages in SAP to a defined user email, allowing for another user to be notified that an action is pending when you are not available. SBWP, which is SAP Business Workplace, allows SAP to send you messages about tasks you need to perform, such as approving work orders or requisitions. It allows SAP users to send messages to one another within SAP. The easiest way to access is to select the icon on the Easy Access screen. To set up auto-forwarding of workflow messages, select the Business Workplace button. Click Settings, then Office Settings. Next, click on the Automatic Forwarding tab. Click the Create icon to set up your forwarding address. This will allow SAP to send you an email message to inform you of any tasks you need to perform if you are not logged in. Type in the email address of the person you will be forwarding messages to, and select Internet address. Select the time period, then click on the green check. The information you selected will now be on the Auto Forwarding tab. Click the green check to complete the task and save the changes. A common problem in SAP is the ability to find material numbers. In this next session, we will cover a simple way to access material numbers through the Prometheus shopping cart. Now we're going to search for materials. We will start by entering T-code MM03. Once the transaction screen opens, click on the Search button on the right of the material number entry box. This will open the Prometheus Material Shopping Cart screen. In the Plant field, ensure you enter the plant that you want to search for the materials. Enter the material description that you would like to find. I will go ahead and type in chrome ball valve. Once you have entered the words, click on Search. Relating search results will populate on the right, which will match a similar description to what you have entered. Once you have found the material you are looking for, double-click on the number and it will be populated on the MM03 screen. As many of you know, we have some exciting things happening at DuPont, and many of them relate to SAP improvements. In this section, I would like to provide you with some of the details of these improvements. One of the most significant improvements is the restructuring of the functional locations. So why did we do this? because a well-defined, standardized functional location structure is the foundation for a strong SAP PM. Ease of reading the structure across multiple sites, business units, and areas. Training of new employees, transfers, or loan-outs from other sites to navigate the structure is simplified. Easier for operators to drill down to the correct equipment in order to create more accurate notifications, resulting in better data for reliability analysis. This diagram illustrates how the functional location is structured. Level 1 is a site, which in this example is Spruance. Level 2 is a unit, which here is Kevlar. Level 3 is the area, recovery. Level 4 is the process, ponds. Level 5 is a sub-process, filtration. And level 6 is the identifier. Next is master data governance. All master data requests and updates are requested through a formal electronic process. This is replacing what was once a very manual process. The form will be routed through an approval process, which provides visibility to tracking for audit purposes. Forms will be used to request creation, updates, and deletion of the following: MRO requests, equipment master requests, maintenance plans requests, and functional location requests. This is a reference document of the most commonly used T-codes that can be found in the following location: under WMP in the SAP Training and Tools folder. The document name is commonly used T-codes. If you have questions or need additional training, please contact the Global SAP Training Team. Thank you for your time, and I hope you now have a better understanding of SAP at DuPont.